Many years ago, there was this revolution in America. Crazy, right? Here are some reasons we decided to revolt. First, it started out with the Proclamation of 1766. Or 1763, sorry, whatever. It's a one-time thing. Okay. Which prohibited Western expansion past the Appalachian Mountains, which is like, this line here. And so the king was like, oh, heck no, you ain't going past there. That's Indian territory. That's the king. And then this is Indian Reserve. And then a terrible thing happened when we decided to go past Indian territory.
So then there were these Paxton brothers who decided the proclamation was unfair. Why should these Indians get all the land? And so they decided to take action to their own hands. They managed to kill nearly
a couple of dozen natives. They were bad people.
Of course, we had all these random different acts that Britain, or England decided to throw at us. First, starting out with the Sugar Act, which was in 1733, which picture is it? Oh, whatever. Anyways, following that was, the Currency Act. See, here's all the British currency and everything right here, and they don't even want America to try and print their own money. It started out in 1775 with the, I can't even read that writing. 1751, ignore all those other ones. 1751 with the New England colonies, and went on into 1764, spreading throughout all the other colonies. And then we had the Quartering Act in 1765, which is right here. See, that basically said that these British soldiers here, and here, could burst into any people's home and just take over everything. And most of these were caused by this guy right here, Charles Townsend, whatever, who also created the Townshend Act, stating that you had to pay taxes on any goods you bought, including the Tea Act. Right here, this lady drinking her morning tea. Of course, the people really didn't like this and started to do some crazy deeds after that. But before we get to that, there was also the Stamp Act, right here, saying, hey, you have to pay taxes on any type of cards or whatever. Now, how do we get that? There we go. That leads us to the Boston Massacre.
Yeah, so we mentioned the Quartering Act earlier, and this has something to do with that. These British soldiers were stationed in Boston, and that really caused a lot of social unsettlingness, if that's a word, amongst the colonists. They didn't like them there, they didn't want them there, and as a result of the French and Indian War, their relationship with Britain was already strained. So one day, during one of their little riots and protests, the colonists maybe took it too far, and in all the confusion, a lot of them ended up getting shot. Yeah. By British soldiers. And then, John Adams, who later became the second president of the United States. That's him. I'm guessing that's what he looked like. Yay. He was their defense lawyer in court, and he got a few of them acquitted, and then 2 were charged with manslaughter, I believe. And then there was the First Committee of Correspondence,
which happened to be a secret organization of leaders of different colonies trying to get together and find a way out to, hey, let's beat Britain. See, here we have so many notable figures like George Washington's right there. I believe that's either Benjamin Franklin or John Adams. They look the same.
Was Patrick Henry there? Probably.
Patrick Henry was probably there. A lot of all those people were there. And that's where they started coming up with the idea for, what's next? For setting up their own personal Congress. Leading us to, here's the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, the Boston Tea Party. We mentioned the Tea Acts earlier, and in protest, the Sons of Liberty, who advocated colonial separation from England, so basically independence. They decided to dress up as Mohawk Indians one day, and they went into Boston Harbor, and they dumped basically all the supply of tea in the ships into Boston Harbor. It's one of the first acts of defiance against the British.
That is, if you don't consider the Boston Massacre that.
Well, the British attacked them.
And due to that Boston Tea Party, we have these things called the Intolerable Acts. See, right here. That basically brought in more soldiers to enforce more of the Quartering Act, as well as making the Stamp Act more horrible, so these people couldn't buy any paper. See, this person's sad if you can't tell. I mean, he can't even buy his own deck of cards. And so the First Continental Congress was formed.
Okay. So, the First Continental Congress was a bunch of leaders in the colonies coming together to discuss whether or not separation from Britain was essential, necessary, and they discussed kind of like, I guess, a game plan. Yeah. They had a second one later. And TG will talk to you more about that.
Well, first we have to talk about the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where basically that's where we have Paul Revere and his ride, and they brought a whole bunch of the militia, the
Minutemen and such?
Minutemen, that's it, to come and just try and keep the British from coming more into their areas. And so after that, the Second Continental Congress, right here, decided, okay, well, we'll try first to send a peace treaty to Britain and see how they react to it. Let's just say Britain didn't like that idea at all. And so that's where they came up with the idea for the Declaration of Independence.
And Lexington and Concord was the shot heard round the world, right, TG? You're erasing the text, oh my god. Okay, just go with it.
Yeah, anyways, and now to Thomas Paine's Common Sense.
Okay, Thomas Paine's Common Sense was written by Thomas Paine, obviously, and it was a pamphlet that was distributed throughout the colonies, and Thomas Paine was a patriot. He suggested independence from Britain, and the union of the colonies and such. Yeah. And then you have
The most important part of
the most important part, which was signed by a lot of the founding fathers, including John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, people like that.
Roger Sherman,
Yeah.
all those people. It was just this big piece of paper that everybody signed, and it made all the colonists who were no longer loyal to Britain happy. But this also made a whole bunch of other people upset because, people didn't want to be an individual country. However, because of this, we started what is now known as the Revolutionary War. And there you go.
And Samuel Adams was very influential in getting the Declaration of Independence written. Okay. And then, it led to the Revolutionary War, which was a bunch of these patriots. Don't know why his nose is so big. And, they have guns.
Looks like a firefighter.
Yeah. So a bunch of patriots. Oh, there's his gun. Oh, these could be bullets shot from the redcoats. And there might be a redcoat in the background, And, so we're sorry. This was our first time using this.
And I believe that's it.
Hold on. We need a proper ending.
And
Beautiful.
resume recording.